Hey everybody, welcome back. HemingwayLand.com, your source for quality, affordable land in the state of Hawaii. Got another new Nanawale Estates property going live this weekend. It's this one right here. It's a mid-street lot. It's got power at the lot line. And of course, you're in this subdivision that's very close to Pahoa, very close to a lot of great attractions out there. So it's very affordably priced here at $5,700. I like this one. I think you guys will be interested in it too. Let's get to it. This is reference number HIHI3814, located out here in Hawaii County, aka the Big Island. This lot is 0.18 acres, about a fifth of an acre. That is the way that all of the lots in this subdivision are divided up. So pretty much all of the lots are about this size. And that subdivision, to reiterate, is Nanawale Estates. As noted up above, this fifth of an acre lot is priced at $5,700. And let's pull it up on a map, show you guys exactly where it is. As with all of our listings, down here are GPS coordinates. Click any one of them, and up on Google Maps, this property shall appear. All right, guys, so this is the property right here. Let's pull back a little bit to show you guys where this is on the island and talk about some attractions and some specifics here. So this is the Big Island right here, aka Hawaii County. This property sits over here in the eastern coastline in the Puna district. And if we zoom in a little bit here, what you're going to see is that it's in the Nanawale Estates subdivision, which helpfully Google Maps has outlined for us here on the map, Nanawale. Nanawale is a small little subdivision, only about a couple thousand lots out there, and this is one of them. Now, it should be noted that Nanawale sits in very close, here it is, sits in very close proximity to Pahoa. You're like a 5-minute drive just up Pahoa Village Road here into the town. Here you've got access to certain amenities, things like the post office, things like banks, things like that, schools, so on and so forth, down here, and as well as some shopping and just some basic things you might need as far as groceries, as far as medical supplies, things like that. Hardware store over here. If you're going to be building out here in Nanawale, you're going to have easy access to this, etc. And additionally, if you just drive a little bit further up the 130, you're going to come to Kiau. There it is. Kiau, right over here. So anything that you can't get in Pahoa, you can probably get over here, as well as access to a little more restaurants, some nightlife, bars, places to hang out, things like that. And if you can't find what you're looking for in Kiau, you are also very close to Hilo. Hilo, of course, is the major city up here on the island. Dense concentration of population up here, as well as all sorts of things. The university's up here, the airport's up here, golf courses. Zoom in a little bit. We're going to see all the stores that are here, Walmart, Target, so on and so forth, as well as all the beaches up here on the North Shore. So the point is you're ideally located there in very close proximity to those things, as well as just down here. If you take the 30 down this way, you've got the Kalapana night market over here, the night farmers market that takes place over here. Very popular. And then, of course, you've got this very scenic drive up the 137 where you will encounter, amongst other things, the Kahena Black Sand Beach, and then over here, Isaac Hale Park, a.k.a. the Pohoiki Black Sand Beach. So you've got access over here to two really great beaches where you can go swimming or surfing or whatever exactly, all within close proximity of Nanawale Estates. So with all that said, let's zoom back in here on the property and talk about specifics. So this lot sits right here off of Seadrift Road, just, northwest of Hapua Road. And if we go to map view, you're going to see the plat overlay. It'll show you where this lot is exactly. The plat overlay is a little bit off, hence a road going over the property. But if you want to get a better sense of this, you can come back to our listing page, go down here to the gallery, and you'll be able to see our Google Earth overlay. It'll give you a sense of the exact size, shape, and location of this particular piece of real estate, as well as you can take a look at the plat map here, and you can see where this property is located at. You can also see that all the other lots out here, as I said earlier, are all pretty much chopped up into basically the same size. Occasionally you'll find something that's marginally bigger, but for the most part, they're all 0.18 acres. Let's go back to the map. So it should be noted that Nanawale Estates is a area that has a community association, meaning that this whole area right here is sort of governed. It has covenants and is governed, and they collect fees out there by the Nanawale Community Association. This is there's some people who don't like this sort of thing. There are certain people who want to go live out of an RV, want to build something, without proper building permits, things like that. That's not what you're going to be able to do out here. This is a residential area with a sort of pride of ownership type of region where they like to, enforce a certain aesthetic uniformity. If you look at the covenants, they're not too onerous, and I'll get into those in a second. But the point is that this is an area that's governed by an organization out here. They collect $99 annually, which is really not bad. Pretty much all the roads in this subdivision are paved. There's power really all throughout the area. And as noted, you're in very close proximity to all these really great things. Additionally, this lot sits pretty close down here to the entrance of the subdivision, where you have things like the community association, the park, the what do you call it? Pool, the swimming pool, thank you, as well as some other things here. So you're going to be in close driving distance of that, and blah, blah, blah. Let's go back down to the photo gallery. I just want to show you guys. So normally what we do is we get photos taken from the property itself. These properties out here in Nanawale are pretty densely forested, so I didn't want to get 40 photos of just trees. So we broke this up a little bit. We have first in the gallery, we have photos from the community itself. So this is the entrance to Nanawale Estates. That's the pool that I was talking about earlier. Some picnic tables out here, field, you can go play, kick the ball around, play with the dog, frisbee, what have you, as well as just some playground here for the kids. And then you will see as you go through this just a little bit more of what the area looks like. These photos are not coming up in focus right now on my computer as I'm doing this video. Something's running slowly, I guess, but hopefully when you look at them, they will appear better than this. Anyway, once you get through those photos, then you're going to come to the property-specific photos, and this is where you're going to see the lot in question, the subject property that we're talking about. As you can see here, there's power all the way up to the property. It goes down the street, down this road. The road itself is not paved. That should be noted. I mean, it's very, it's very well maintained. You're going to be able to navigate it with any type of vehicle. Here are the aforementioned power lines I was talking about. You're going to be able to navigate it with any type of vehicle, but the point is, it's not a paved type of road. It's a little overgrown, but really not that bad. Anyway, once you get through all of these photos, you're going to see some of your neighbors here, some of their houses. Again, the power lines we were talking about. Once you get through these photos, you're also going to come to photos from the area itself, from Pahoa itself. We had some photos taken. Eventually, I'm going to come to them. Hang on, guys. There we go. You're going to see some photos of nearby Pahoa, and really just sort of how idyllic this is, this sort of Hawaiian paradise that you have out here, what this area looks like, and just sort of how quaint and bucolic the region is. You got the local high school there, some churches, etc., etc. So I'd encourage you guys to explore this photo gallery. It'll give you an excellent sense of not only just the property itself, but also what's around the property as far as community. You'll be able to see the shops and some of the things that are out here. All right, many more photos in the gallery. There you go. Anyway, with all that said, let's just go back and talk about the community association a bit. We've got some helpful links here under county contact information. A lot of times when people are going to buy property from us, they have questions about things that we are only, semi-conversant in. So I like to give you guys some links and phone numbers that you can contact, you can call. Before you give us any money, you can always investigate these things. You can go out and see the property yourself, or you can talk to people who actually know the region or who, work in that region. And these are some excellent resources. So we have the Nanawale Estates Community Association. You click this, it's going to bring up their website. Here you're going to have, first of all, you can actually get their phone number, and you can call them, or you can write them an email. That's not always the easiest thing to find with HOAs. Additionally, we also have some links here to the local electric company, as well as Waterworks Hawaii, that deal with sort of installation of rainwater catchment systems, holding tanks of water. I will just mention quickly, the electric company that services this region, if you want to get power hooked up to the property because there's already power at the lot line, this will probably be easier and more affordable, but you may want to reach out to them and talk about, just practically speaking, what does that cost, number one. Number two, I mentioned Waterworks Hawaii. We get a lot of questions about, hey, I want to drill a well in Hawaii. How does that work? Well, it doesn't. You don't do that. Out here, because it is such a tropical environment, because so much of the area that you're building in is has a volcanic origins, let's say, you can't just drill down 50 feet and get water. But you do get a lot of rainfall out there, so most of the people who are living in this area have these rainwater catchment tanks. If you've never dealt with that before, if you're from the mainland and you haven't dealt with that, but you know that you're going to need to get drinking water in the house, get bathing water in the house that you build out there, call vendors in the area, call a vendor like this and talk to them about, what kind of permits do I need, how many X gallons of water do I need for a house that's, this many square feet, things like that. They'll be able to better answer those questions and talk you through everything you need to know about rainwater catchment systems and holding tanks. Now, it should also be mentioned that I said earlier that this community association, they have a yearly fee of $99 annually. That's not bad. You've got about $200 in taxes, $100 that's owed in February, $100 in August. Pay them twice a year or pay just once. Then you've got $99 in HOA fees. Really not that bad. Additionally, I also want to make you guys aware, there are also some covenants that govern this region. You can click this PDF right here, and it will bring up this document. I will also have you know this document is also linked up here in the table under the Nanawale CCRs. Now, a lot of people, when they see HOA, they run in the opposite direction because they think it means too many rules, too many restrictions. It's really not the case. These organizations are there to just sort of provide standards for the community, so as property values remain the same or go up, increase as time goes on. So I think there's a real benefit to organizations like this. If you read through these 6 pages of rules, you're going to see there's nothing here that's all too onerous. I mean, really, these are just sort of obvious things like, about how you dispose of rubbish, noise, things like that. So read through these and it'll give you an excellent sense of what the rules are governing this area. Now, additionally, we have written here on the listing page some things you would need to know. I'm going to cough now. Hang on. Because I'm choking. We also have some things here that you would need to know. Now, for instance, there's 3 building quote-unquote restrictions, which is things that we want to bring to your attention. Number 1, there's no time limit to build out here. If you buy the property, you can sit on it for the next 20 years of your life, do nothing with it, and then if you want to build, you can. There's no time limit in that respect. That being said, once you do start building on the property, then they want to see things completed within a 12-month period, within 365 days. What happens on, day 366? What happens on month 13? Do they fine you or something? I really don't know. But, of course, as mentioned earlier, you can reach out to the Nanawale Association. You could ask them. That being said, what are the chances it's going to take you longer than a year to build? Additionally, number 2 here, no structure can be taller than 24 feet or 2 stories. And number 3, there's a minimum square footage requirement of 880 feet. We get a lot of buyers who want to build things like tiny houses. Depending on your definition of tiny, this may very well fit into that area right there. Anyway, some other things that we want to make our buyers aware of. If you're looking at buying this lot and you're thinking about building out there, as noted, it's dense forestry really all throughout Nanawale. It backs up to a forest preserve, so it's a tree-covered area essentially. I'm going to pause the video for a second while I breathe. Hang on. Much better. Okay. Anyway, so it is a densely forested area. The way that they handle that out there is you're going to get a permit to build. Once you get a permit to build, then you can hire somebody who's got a bulldozer. This is actually very common out there. People come out and, quote, doze the land. Now, we have, believe it or not, we found a video here on YouTube. As noted, it's overlong, a little boring, but very informative. If you click this, it'll bring up this video, and you can actually see what the dozing of a lot in Nanawale Estates looks like from start to finish. It's about an hour-long video. This is what it starts out as, and spoiler alert, this is what it looks like toward the end. So you'll get a sense of exactly what that process is like if you're curious about it. Additionally, we also have some other links here, such as the Puna Web. Puna Web is a sort of helpful forum of people who live in the Puna district, including within Nanawale Estates, and these are obviously people who have lived and built there before. And if you have questions or you want recommendations, what's a good company for installing a holding tank? What's a good company for coming out and dozing land? There's people here who can recommend things to you. I'm sure there's also some sort of Facebook group that can speak to this as well. Additionally, you can also direct these questions to the Nanawale Estates Community Association. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, with all that said, there you go. Those are the research materials for the property. This is really well priced at $5,700. Get a nice lot like this, whether you're going to build for your own self out there, have a nice little, whether it's a retirement home or whether it's a second home that you're building, or you want to get away from the mainland, you want to brag to your friends you own some real estate in Hawaii, or if you're just building a sort of Airbnb, it's a nice little small lot that you can do that on. And of course, the benefit of a small lot like this is that you're not going to have a lot of property to maintain throughout the year, particularly if you're not there 12 months a year. So, anyway, with all that said, if you are interested in purchasing this property, come here, click the Buy Now button. It will take you to this secure checkout page. For the record, we're asking for $5,700 plus a $150 doc prep fee. If you have a credit card or a debit card that can't accommodate that amount, or it can't accommodate it within a 24-hour period, and you need to separate this over 2 or 3 cards, give us a call, 702-919-7170. We will gladly accommodate that. That being said, when you do eventually check out here, we're going to ask you for the legal name you want on the deed, name or names, marital status, tax address, basically all the things you need to draft a deed in the state of Hawaii. Come down here, click on the Terms of Service, agree to them, click Next. And on the next page, we will ask you for credit or debit card information. Once you check out and give us money, as far as we are concerned, you now own the property. That being said, practically speaking, the process goes a little something like this. We're going to call our attorney in Hawaii. We're going to ask them to draft a new deed plus supplemental documentation. They'll tell us they'll have it done in 24 hours. Realistically, it's more like 72 or 96, so about 3 to 4 days. We will have that deed for you. We're going to email it to you. Once you approve it, once you say, yes, you spelled my name right and got my correct address, then we're going to autograph it, notarize it, and mail it off to be recorded. Once it's recorded, we'll have an email copy for you pretty soon after, but practically speaking, a hard copy in your hands, that's probably about another 3 weeks, just so you know. Now, I want to make you guys aware for anybody who's looking at purchasing this, we got a couple options here. Number one, what I just described is what we're calling an attorney close. That's where we pay the closing costs, to hire the attorney to draft those documents and record everything. If, however, you are skeptical about giving your money to somebody online like this, or you just prefer to get title insurance on the property, we'll simply ask for a deposit, $500, something like that. So call our offices. We'll set that up for you. But basically $500 down, and then we're going to draft a sale purchase agreement and close through title escrow. And if you want to learn more about how this process works, just come up here to this page called How It Works Buying From Us, and it'll take you right here. We have these two types of closings broken down. This is the title escrow close. Typically, we recommend this for properties over $10,000, but we'll do it for any property. But basically, it's what I just described. We get an earnest money deposit, we draft a contract, we sign, you sign, we submit the title, and then title contacts you a couple weeks later when they're done doing their research, and they ask you to wire them the money. They also ask us to sign a deed, and they do not release the money to us until such a time as the property has been deeded into your name. So, it gives you more security as the buyer. I should also mention, if you'd like to know what that contract is, what it looks like that we're going to ask you to sign, just click this link right here, and you'll be able to see sort of generic version of our standard contract. As you can see here, it's a pretty simple contract, one page for signatures, pretty self-explanatory. One more thing I'd just like to mention, guys, we get a lot of calls from people who they want to finance the property. They want us to essentially loan the money and then pay it off slowly over the course of months and years. I don't like to do that. I am not crazy go nuts about that idea. I will, however, say that there is a lender in Hawaii, Hawaii Federal Credit Union. We address it here in this paragraph. Point being, if you click this link, it will take you to their website. They have a pretty good lending program on vacant land. Vacant land, it's very difficult to find lenders who will loan on that. That being said, Hawaii Federal Credit, or FSU, or whatever it's called, will do that. And pretty good interest rate, 4.75%, which is far better than I could do if I were going to essentially loan you money. Whatever the case, you can check out their program right here. You can read all about it. I have no first-hand experience with it. I'm not necessarily recommending it per se, but I am pointing you in that direction if this is something that you do want to buy. Any one of our Hawaii properties that you want to buy, this may be a good resource for the sort of cash that you would need to do that. Anyway, with all that said, guys, thank you so much for listening to the video. Thank you so much for putting up with me while I was choking here in the background, and we will see you in the next video. If you have any questions, just post them here on YouTube. Shoot us an email, support@hemingwayland.com, or give us a call, 702-919-7170. Thanks again for watching, everybody.